No, it's actually better. So the Chainsaw Man movie Razor came out recently in the States, and as of recording this, I went to go watch it around 2 days ago, I would say. Now, I've been seeing so much advertising, collabs, and talk about the movie and how it was one of the best animated films ever, so naturally I went into the Spaghetti and Meatballs to see for myself. I honestly thought that me being a manga reader would get rid of the emotional connections in the story, but I was oh so pleasantly surprised. If anyone remembers when I did my Chainsaw Man video about, what is it, like 3 months ago? Fuck me, dude, I need to post more often. You'd notice that I talked about part 1, but I didn't really get into the meat and potatoes of Denji and Reise's relationship. Why, you ask? Because I wanted to make this video. This will be a super spoiler heavy review of the movie, so if you care, maybe come back after you've seen it. If not, enjoy, I guess. With that being said, let's just jump right into it. So this movie starts off right after Chainsaw Man Season 1, and the entire movie is about Denji basically falling in love with another girl, but like this time she's actually better, even though she's like an actual freak sent to kill him. Yeah. However, if I want to start glazing this movie, I feel like I need to talk about the music. The music in this movie is insanely good. Dare I say, this soundtrack is as iconic as JJK Season 2. From Iris Out to straight up slam sprinkled metal during the action scenes to the somber and emotional piano of In the Pool, this movie has one of the most memorable soundtracks of recent memory. Of course, this is all due to Kensuke Ushio, an absolute master at his craft. I'm also 90% sure I had an orgasm at least twice while listening to the soundtrack. It's a really good soundtrack. I recommend you take a listen to it. The only downside to some of these tracks is that they're not long enough, which is tragic because some of these songs are actually beautiful. The animation by far, hands down, is some of the best in the industry. Move aside, Demon Slayer. This town ain't big enough for the two of us. As I was watching this movie with my friends, my friend to my left and I were genuinely geeked at how mind-blowing the animation was during the climax. Every time we thought it would be over, it kept coming back with even more bombastic, no pun intended, animation. There's especially this one scene where Reize and Denji are in the midst of combat, and Reize starts to beat the ever-living shit out of him with some of the most fluent animated combat I've seen in a fat minute. The battle with the Typhoon Devil and Denji with Beam is also one of the most eye-candy moments of the movie. Of course, I can't forget about the iconic pole scene, which makes me want to eat everything I just watched. Denji and Beam versus Reize and the Typhoon Devil will go down as one of the best anime fights in history, mark my words. I shit you not, I shed a tear watching the animation in this movie. It's really good. It's really fucking good. Like most people, I was kind of worried that an hour and 40 minutes wouldn't be enough to emotionally impact the audience with Reize and Denji, but thankfully I was incorrect. There's two parts to this film. The first part is definitely the much slower of the two, and rightfully so. This is the part where we see Chainsaw Man start to shine. Denji is probably one of my favorite protagonists of all time. In fact, I'd say he's probably my number one in manga and anime. I'm trying to think whether I prefer Mob or Denji as my number one, but I think for now Denji would be my number one. Denji's journey as a human is just so intriguing to me. The first part is basically when Denji gets caught in the rain, and so he goes inside this telephone box, which is when he meets the girl of his dreams. What made Denji so relatable was how he feels like a real 16-year-old kid. This motherfucker isn't thinking with his head, okay? He's thinking with his cock. But that's what makes him so relatable. His immaturity, his lack of care, the way he shows that he's honestly lost right now, and he's trying to discover himself. One of the moments that personally hit me was when he's at the cafe and he just starts to talk to Reize, and with the way she speaks and acts, he starts to ask himself, yo, is she hitting on me? The pool scene is one of the most intimate moments I've ever witnessed in anything. And although they're nude, you don't really see it as sexual. At least I didn't. I saw it as a really romantic moment between Denji and Reze. Now, unfortunately, it turns out she's a Russian spy, and she is sent to bring back Denji to the motherland for his heart. But in the midst of all that, I want to take some time to appreciate the extra devil hunters that get slimed out by Reze. The way they're so casual about the threat at hand and how Reze approaches the devil hunters, which is really build up this sense of tension that freaked me out, because they thought this was going to be, you know, a casual fight against the devil, when you yourself as the audience realize, oh yeah, these dudes are about to get annihilated. It's over. As I mentioned before, Denji versus Reze was incredible. Beam is such a blast to have in this arc. His maniacal laughs with Denji cracked me up every time, and he's just the absolute MVP of this movie. I love this one line that really shows where Denji's at in life, where he complains about people wanting the chainsaw heart but not his heart, which really reflects on his desire to be loved. The second part of this movie really gets no breaks. It feels like you're going 150 miles per hour and you just keep going faster and faster. However, after the brilliantly executed fight scenes, we get to the last 10 minutes of the movie, and oh my god. From 150 miles per hour to just an absolute crash. At the end of the fight, Denji saves Reze's life and starts talking about Reze's false intentions. As much as Reze wants to reject Denji's statement, she was genuinely falling for this dumb, goofy idiot. And even then, when Denji repeats the same statement Reze told him, "Want to run away with me?" she doesn't kill him, just breaks his neck. But the fact that she realized that teaching him how to swim, talking to him, being with him, was enough to make an assassin fall for such a silly goober. Eventually we get to the part where Reze realizes maybe she does want to run away with Denji. However, it's too little too late. Reze running, being a street away from the cafe where Denji said to meet up, she gets stopped by Makima, ultimately getting killed by her and Angel. This is where I started to bawl my eyes out, and it made it even worse when you realize Denji was waiting for her with a big bouquet of flowers. Just absolutely heartbreaking. So, was Chainsaw Man, the movie, Reze arc worth it? Yeah, I'd say so. This movie was something I was anticipating for a really long time, and I'm glad that I managed to get my expectations blown out of the fucking water, and I had pretty high expectations. Also, if you still like Makima, you're one hell of a bastard and a real fucking weirdo. Overall, I'd give this movie a solid 10 out of 10.
Don't let me leave, Murph. Don't let me leave, Murph. No!
Hey guys, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Sorry for not uploading in like 3 months. School is a bitch, and university applications have been literal hell. But yeah, from now on, I'm assuming I'll try to post as frequently as I possibly can. We're going to try to at least make one video every month, and maybe even more frequently, but I can't make any promises. But again, thank you for watching, and if you want to support me, you can subscribe or like. That would be super cool. But yeah, see you guys next time. Bye bye.